So, MDT being translated into, I can see you shaking your head already, Johan, and a PowerShell. With you and Niehaus now on board on 2Pint and Deploy R, is MDT PowerShell edition dead?
The short answer is absolutely not. That we are not making any deprecation of that one. But there are scenarios that where we won't be able to easily, at least, make changes. For example, to support Windows on ARM, that will require a major rewrite, and I'm not even sure we can get the TAS sequence engine to run in an x64 emulation on an ARM boot image. So we are very unlikely to go forward with anything like that. We still maintain and further develop that solution, even though there are dependencies of MDT, but it's not it's community support behind it. The 2-point solution that Niehaus is developing together with that full team is, of course, a supported platform, and that one is I don't know how many thousands of hours, but there's a lot of development put into that one. So we are not making any changes to PSD at the moment. We're going to keep it around as long as it works. The MDT itself is, of course, as you guys know, is unfortunately going away. And for those of you running ConfigMgr, you have a bit of work ahead, because October this year, Microsoft says that any ConfigMgr release coming after October can possibly break your sequences if you continue to use that integration. So we're working with quite a number of customers right now in basically migrating over, creating new templates, and migrate over the functionality of MDT that we're using for ConfigMgr. The standalone MDT, Light Touch, it's not that big of a deal because that one doesn't change. There are no dependencies. It's a folder on a file share. It will continue to work equally well tomorrow as it does today. But the ConfigMgr part, no. So Andrew and I, when was that? Was it March? Help me, Andrew.
Sounds right. While you're pulling that up, Keith has a comment as well.
I do have a follow-up question for our questioner here. Is what do you currently use MDT for that you want to see continued on in the future, or what scenario? Because are you using autopilot? MDT doesn't have any knowledge of autopilot. Are you using Intune and Configuration Manager? MDT has integration with Configuration Manager, but not Intune. What do you currently use MDT for?
I currently don't, but we're saying goodbye to ConfigMgr and we're going Intune only. So basically for break fix media, I need something. It could be anything, OSD Cloud, something to break fix with.
8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Come see my presentation with Mike Terrell, because that's exactly a very legitimate question.
Yeah.
That because really MDT was partly designed for the old days, Windows 7. You get a PC with Windows Pro on it, but you want to put Enterprise. There was no way to migrate it. The official guidance from Microsoft was erase the machine, install an operating system from scratch, use MDT to help build that out from scratch. Holy crap, that's a horrible way to do things. You should be able to transform the licensing from Pro to Enterprise and just join it to the domain. Finally, Microsoft got their heads out of their asses and realized that this is a great way to go, and autopilot is the best way to do that. Why manage these drivers by yourself that do that sort of thing? But you're absolutely right. The concept of what do we do when machines are broken is a question. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you there, Keith. And both of you, it's a very valid questions or comments, but let me address the first one here. For those of you that are on ConfigMgr today and want to continue to use it for OSD, we did run a session a while ago, in February actually, it's an hour and a half showcasing what options you have to get away from that integration so you continue to use ConfigMgr USD. The other question around having a deployment solution available, the only thing that that Microsoft offers that is supported currently is ConfigMgr USD. But as we already discussed, there are community solutions, there are third-party vendors offering their support to solutions that they maintain. And even if an organization is like all in autopilot, you can still leverage these more traditional imaging solutions like MDT, PSD, ConfigMgr, and others, and just tweak them to, for example, work with an autopilot scenario. Here I have a sequence I've been using quite a bit, but it's a sequence that does a full autopilot registration. It deploys a device, it talks to a web service and asks the web service nicely to say, hey, I'm this device, I have this a hardware hash. Can you go and register me now kindly and let me know when you're done so I can continue? And we see a lot of organizations implementing solutions like this. They have some sort of imaging capability, but they tweak them so they can also use that for, more modern scenarios like Windows Autopilot. This is a hill I'm ready to die on. I recommend every single company, no matter how modern you are, how Windows Autopilot you are, keep something available so you can image a device if needed, because you're going to need it at some point. It could be as simple as you guys mentioned, Keith mentioned here, a break fix scenario. You need to fix your device quickly. You can't really send it away to Dell and have it send it back in a timely fashion. Or it could be that you need to do some testing. You'd be surprised. There are still organizations out there who are not even remotely done with their Windows 11 migration or upgrades. They are testing it right now. They need a couple of Windows 10 devices with their image so they can test upgrading to Windows 11. Yeah, so they deploy 10 of them. We have recovery scenarios. I hope you never end up with this, but I spent 15 years with a security company, TrueSec. We had over the years hundreds of incidents, organizations getting ransomware attacks. Well, having some basic imaging capability available is just it's something I recommend that you have. It doesn't matter so much which, it just have something. A trend that we see in the industry is organizations moving away from having these super complex ConfigMgr OSD setup with front ends and back ends and databases and a mile-long sequence. Instead, doing something simple. That's what I see. So, all right. Sorry, long rant there, but keep something around.
Great question. Thank you.
So just a follow-up question on MDT. The way the notes read, it seems like it is safe to continue to upgrade ConfigMan until the fall release next year. And then by that point, it needs to be removed out of there or it may break. Does that read correctly?
That's how I read that post, but what we've been telling customers so far is that plan to move away from it this year so you're done with it. Because releases after October may have that side effect that sequences could cause corrupt or become corrupt. And the way they word it is any release after October. So it could very well be the spring release. I expect there will be a 2603 release of ConfigMgr. Haven't been announced or anything, but just a guess. I can bring up that note. To MDT depression, that's a new one. Deprecation. He has wrote a post. I'm pretty sure he linked to the official one here. Beautiful. Yeah. If I zoom in here, No longer supported. Well, kind of knew that one already, but planned end support, the first release after October. And may lead to TS corruption. Can't technically envision how that would happen, but usually what I've learned over the years that if Microsoft actually writes that something can break, there is a likelihood that it can break. So I recommend to get away from that integration. And that session I shared a link to earlier tells you how to do that.